My guess is that you have something like this hanging around your house. And if you do have something like this hanging around your house, it means that you have potentially an accent wall in the waiting.
I wanted to do a little bit of spunking up in this closet. It's just storage. It's painted the same as the walls in here. It's nothing special or fancy, but you know what? Why not? First, we have to clean. So I'm going to actually just use toilet paper core to create a design, a stencil of sorts, to use and make a design in my bathroom closet. Now, some of you might be saying, well, why? I just wanted to sort of play around with this idea of making your own stencil and wanted to test it out on somewhere small, a space where I actually can then close the door if it didn't turn out so well. I'm going to use 3 toilet paper cores, and they're simply folded, smashed down, and then folded in half to create sort of a bunch of lines. And I'm going to cut this flush so that it all touches the wall at once. So the supplies I have with me is my little piece of 3 toilet paper cores, flattened and then folded in half, and then I just put some tape around them so that they are secure. Then I also have some acrylic paint that I just have around, black, gray, and white. I'm going to start with white just to see how that goes. You always start light and then work up to dark. I'm going to start with white. I'm just using a paper plate to put my paint on. Okay. I'm just going to use my new stamper, kind of dab that around a little bit until it's kind of covered. And now I'm not going for perfection. I almost never go for perfection. I actually like handmade looked items, so I would much rather have something that looks like it was created by a human than a machine, which is why I do a lot of things myself, and I think it's a lot more natural that way. And I don't know, there's something really cool about not manufactured. So you can use as much or as little paint as you want, and let's apply it to the wall. I'm going to do a little, and then I'll show you what I got. What the heck? You want to see what's going on too. I just know you do. You can mess around and put these closer together or further apart. You could go back over top. You could do whatever you feel like. You could even combine a couple of different paint colors. You could flip this thing upside down.
like that, and just play around with it till you get it to where you like it and the design you like. So maybe start somewhere where it's not completely visible to everybody, in case you decide to change your mind on the design. I kind of like that. What we want to keep in mind is that we're creating a pattern over and over again to create some texture and to replicate some wallpaper. You can make so many different things out of cardboard, so many different kinds of stamps. You could have left this round, you could flatten it down, you could keep it, you could make it square, ovals, tons of different options with toilet paper and paper towel cord. So up close, of course, to your eye, it's going to look a little bit different than it does if we're backed up way back here and we start adding back into our closet things that we use, like towels and storage things and baskets and whatnot. So best to look at it from afar, and it gives you the whole idea of the texture that we were going for. I did a bad thing. I started this project before I actually finished cleaning the rest of the closet. I have 2 more shelves to clean, but I got really excited and I wanted to try out this method using my toilet paper core. So, bad me. But I'm gonna get those finished. I've got to get supper on, and then I'm gonna come back and finish this project.
Hey Mom, what are you doing?
Me?
Yes.
Making a little art in my closet. Because we don't want to be too obvious. We want to just create an idea that there might be pattern to look forward to. So we don't even need to fill in all of the squares and create all of these squares. We just sort of need to lay in a hint of the pattern. This is something I learned when I was in theater school, when we had to create scenic backdrops for the theater. We had to create a lot of things out of nothing, and we had to use our imagination when it came up to creating stencils and stamps and wood textures and brick textures and that kind of thing, and we had to get really creative, and we learned how to use very little to create something on a very grand scale. Okay, what do we think?
I think it looks good.
Looks good. Okay, I just have to do the top part, and then from afar, and once this gets filled up with stuff, it will look complete. What I'm creating with this, now I'm going back over top of what I did yesterday just to create a more of a linen texture effect. And we're just, again, don't get caught up on perfection. You are creating this, which is part of the beauty. It's not created by a machine, it's created by a person. So I'm just going back over and laying in a horizontal line that is giving this kind of a square box look. From afar, it kind of resembles the textures in linen, which I really like. Hey, thanks so much for joining me for this little DIY project. We've added a little bit of texture in a small space just to sort of test out what it would look like with my 3 toilet paper cores bent over and taped together. That's all it is. So I encourage you to get creative, start small, start light, and grow from there. Kind of practice on either some paper bags or a piece of paper, but always start with lighter color paint versus going right in with black straight away, because it's a lot easier to cover up white than it is black or a darker color. Thanks so much for joining me. And if you really wanted to support our channel and the things we do here on Hearty Soul, feel free to click that subscribe button and that notification bell, and then give us a likes up. Thanks so much for joining me, and